All right. So I'm back. I'm doing another tutorial. This one's going to be a little bit less of a tutorial, and let's call it more of a proverbial spelunking. Somebody asked me to create a sound for them, and this one is the Alan Parsons project. It's called Pipeline, and I'm not very familiar with all of the synths. There's 9 synth engines. HD1 I'm comfortable with, AL1 I'm okay with, the MS-20 I'm pretty comfortable with, but there's some in there like the STR-1 I just don't know a whole lot about it. So I'm going to play you just very quickly the sample of the sound that I'm going to be trying to recreate. Now, just listening to that, it sounds like it's possible that it could definitely be done in the AL1. There's no question. For me, I want to learn more about this STR-1. It sounds like it could be a very, very useful, powerful tool for sound creation, and I want to see what it has under the hood. And so if you're somebody that's brand new into sound creation and you've never played with the STR-1, I want to share with you some of my initial thoughts of you know, as I kind of discover it, what conclusions am I making and that kind of thing. Maybe you'll find it helpful, maybe you won't. So if you're expecting me to pull something really cool out of this, well, I hope so too, but we'll see what happens. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the STR-1 and see what we can come up with. So first things first, under my instrument type, I'm going to change it from AL1 to STR-1 pluck string. And let's go to my oscillator. And there's a whole bunch of stuff down here. So some of it looks familiar. So we've got the mixer. Okay. Pcm Oscillator. So it looks like, and I don't know if these, let's see. I don't know how this works in terms of like if I put a different sample in there. It seems to do nothing for now. I'm curious though if it's a mixer thing. Oh, here, yeah. Okay, cool. So you can have, it looks like an AL1, or excuse me, not an AL1, but HD1. It looks like a basic HD1, except it doesn't have a lot of the advanced synthesis stuff part going on. It's more of a just sample playback. And then we have our pitch control for that PCM, for that sample. Excitation Mixer. Okay. Pluck. So I'm looking at, okay, so there's an excitation filter. So this sounds like it could be a filter for, like a built-in exciting filter for plucking, for the PCM itself, for the noise generator. So there's obviously a noise generator in here somewhere. And the excitation filter. And I'm wondering if this is for the whole thing. Like, is this for all of them? We'll find out. So string main, this must be things like where's the string being plucked, how much pressure is being used. Yeah, and I'm seeing things like pressure here. So position, I'm wondering if that's just... Oh, I probably need to turn this on, don't I? Well, it doesn't sound like it's doing anything, but it might with a different sound. There could be some sort of dependency there. So we'll take a look at that later. Damping. Okay, so I would assume that would be how freely the string is able to vibrate. Thinking of it like a guitar, right? That's kind of how I'm thinking of it. Dispersion. Couldn't tell you. Let's see what it sounds like, though. Wow, okay, so that almost sounds like a ring mod, kind of. I don't know how to explain it. Yeah, it almost sounds like a ring mod, so I'm just going to kind of go with that. I'll pretend this is like a ring mod. I'm not sure what's going on there. String pitch, so this is just our standard pitch controls for the string. Pickups and feedback. Okay, so we have two pickups. It must be a virtual... Yeah, I'm not hearing anything. I'm again wondering if there's some sort of requirement. Oh, there they are. So this is the pickups. So let's turn this off. Okay. So it's like we're hearing it through a pickup. So it sounds like, it almost feels like I'm moving the pickup along the string. Okay, cool. Let's go to pickup 2 and see. I want to see if it sounds the same. That's what I'm looking for. So if I do this one, if it sounds the exact same, then I kind of have a good idea of, you know, what to expect. What's this tracking mode? Keyboard track. Oh, this must be like... however high or low I go, it must be. So, yeah, okay. Alright, I think I can work with this. This seems like it's more than usable. Okay, so that's my exploration. And then we still have our standard, like, our standard filter, amp, EG, LFO. That's all the exact same. AMS string tracking. So this just looks like our AMS mixer that you would use on a standard oscillator. So nothing kind of really stands out as being too scary for the most part. I think we're probably okay. Alright, let's jump into making this sound then. It helps if I go back into the mixer and turn the volumes back up, doesn't it? So I'm going to turn that off, turn this back up. Is that the right notes? I don't know, something like that, whatever. Okay, so let's start by seeing if we can get sound, initially that's even closer. So right away I noticed that this sound is filtered quite a bit, and this string is quite bright. So I want to find another, like another sound that could be a little bit more suitable. Okay, so I'm hearing some interesting stuff here. It sounds like it could be okay. I'm going to see if there's something better. I'm going to kind of make a mental note of the square pluck. Okay, let's try this other one. Oh, that sounds pretty good too. Okay, it's kind of a toss-up between the square pluck and the mid-range pluck. I'm going to kind of do an A-B comparison and just see which one kind of fills out the sound closer to the original, almost like a side-by-side. apologize for my crappy playing here, but... Anyway, I kind of think the mid-range pluck seems to be a little bit more, a little bit closer. It fills in a little bit in the mid to low end. Okay, something I'm noticing is in the actual sound itself, I'm hearing a little bit of chorusing, so it leads me to believe that there's either chorus, which I don't know, I kind of expect not, or there is a second string and it's probably slightly detuned. So I'm going to add a second oscillator once I kind of get this a little bit closer and try and just see if that makes a difference. Okay, because I can, I am going to go to the filter and let's throw this low pass on here and see what happens. Okay, cool. It's closer. So let me save this real quick. And this is the Alan Parsons Project pipeline. Cool. Okay. All right. Next thing, what does the sound miss? So what is it missing? Okay, so right off the bat, I immediately want to go to my ADSR and get this just a little bit closer. It's real plucky. And I want to replicate that by changing this delay just to get a little bit more dramatic here. And I don't need to adjust that. Let me hear what this sounds like. Okay, let's drop this down, maybe to 40, let's say. Okay, do you hear how it's a little bit more poppy? Okay, I like that. I'll need to bring the overall volume up later on. However, the characteristic is a little bit more close, so I'm happy with that for now. Okay, going back to the ADSR, my release needs to be a little bit longer. Yeah, I'm cool with that. That sounds good. Alright, so let's go back to the string, and right away I want to start looking at this Excitation Mixer, and I want to see what does it really do here. Oh, okay. Okay, that sounds fine. Low pass. Okay, I feel like it's a little too poppy now. this needs to come up some. So I'm going to bring this up here. Let's try 55. Now that we've started, you know, changing filters and stuff, it's becoming too poppy. Still sounds like the release is longer. Okay, let's bring this attack down and see what happens. Okay, so I'm getting the impression under the Excitation Mixer, the pluck is high, so that's why we have so much pop now. Okay, so maybe I can go back here and bring this up, kind of like it was when we started. Bring this up to, oops. Let's open this filter just a little bit. Alright. Getting closer. I really get the impression that I'm going to need to use this Pcm oscillator. And the only reason I say that is because what I'm hearing is I'm also in the background, when I listen to this original sound, I'm hearing a bit of, not voices, but there's something that's kind of a howly, rounding sound. Just listen. Like, I hear the bass in the background, obviously, that's going... Like, I hear that, but there's something else there, and I'm wondering if this application or this engine is going to be able to recreate that. So we're going to see. Okay, so excitation. So let's see. Seems to do a lot of nothing. Okay, so that doesn't. I don't know where this would change anything. I might have to just read the manual, as is recommended in a lot of cases. So I'm not sure. Didn't seem to change anything for now, so I'm just going to kind of keep going. Ah ha ha. Well, this suddenly helps. Well then, that definitely helped. Alright, cool. What's this? Oh, right, our ring mod kind of sounding thing. Okay, something that's happening, this damping is great, except the sound still needs to ring. So if I go here, and I set the release to be even longer now, that's cool. Now I'm hearing harmonics, which is natural when you're playing an actual stringed instrument. You're going to get harmonics depending on how you play. So I want to see if there's a way that I can kind of bring that harmonic structure down just a little bit. And I'm not totally sure where I would find that. So mid-range pluck, I'm wondering if this randomization has anything to do with it. that sounds better. I need to open this filter, I think, a little bit more now. Okay, and with this is still now too attacky, so I need to bring this up or bring this down. I think I'm just going to bring this up a little bit more. So let's try 88. 88 miles per hour. Alright, yeah, it sounds okay. There's still stuff that needs to be done to it. It sounds better. So again, changes, I'm going to save them. Alright, let's go back to my string. So let's see if we can change the tonality a little bit by adding these pickups. So I'm just going to set one halfway and 175% of the way. And go to my mixer and let's turn them on here. That's starting to sound like a harp. Let's hear what they sound like by themselves. Okay, that's weird. It's not playing over the, it doesn't play over A4. Like, it gets to A4, but then it doesn't play any higher. So I'm assuming it's probably due to the feedback position. Oh, and this is where the string track comes in. Okay. Let's just turn that right off. I guess we do need some kind of tracking because it's getting dead notes at random spots. Alright, that's fine. Oh yeah, we need to turn that on, don't we? Alright, let's bring you down, let's bring you up. Actually, let's leave you on so we can compare the two. Well, you know what? You don't need to use them necessarily. I don't feel like, just initially this doesn't seem like it's helping anything, so I'm going to leave pickup 2. I like where it's at. Let's bring the string back in. Okay. Okay, I'm actually mostly happy with this for the time being. Honestly, if it were the AL1, I feel like I could get it closer, but I just wanted to experiment and see what happens here. So really quickly, I'm going to save. I'm going to double the oscillator now. So I'm going to turn this one on as well, and we're going to copy from EX1 to EX2. Perfect. Okay, now the next thing I need to do is just change the basic pitch somewhere here. There we go. Just change the pitch slightly, because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get the, I guess technically it would be here, wouldn't it? Or not. Here. Oh, no, it's there. Oh my gosh, I just totally missed it. I thought for some reason that this should be over here and that this would be down here somewhere, and I just missed it. Okay. Okay, it actually sounds a whole lot closer now that we detuned it. I'm going to grab one of these. Okay, sounds good. Okay, next thing I need to do, I need to adjust the EQ. There's something fishy going on somewhere in the middle here. So what I want to do, and this is a technique I actually learned in the studio. If you have a weird harmonic that's kind of sticking out to you, what you can do is you can purposely bump up the gain on a particular particular frequency, bring it out, and then you can drop the gain levels down to reduce that particular sound. So this is going to be loud, but just understand what I'm trying to do here. So it's around here that there's this this kind of sound that I don't really want, and so what I want to do is I want to EQ it out. Actually there. Let me try that. Okay. Sounds okay. Again, I'm not totally satisfied, to be completely honest. Let me throw in a multi-sample here of some sort of something, and just kind of see what happens here. We'll bring this in slightly. Okay. Pcm Oscillator. I don't need that, so. Okay, keeping in mind that this could work, this bottle pop. No, you know what? I'm pretty happy with that, actually. Okay, last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to save, well, second last thing, I'm going to save first, and then I'm going to put in my effects. Now, I expect my phone to suddenly stop recording any second, so I'm actually going to stop proactively and come back with a second video where we add the effects and do one last touch-up.